Okay, DK, Mr. VMs, welcome back to the Repair-A-Thon. We've got a Fender silver face twin reverb with a master volume. This should be one of those 100-watt jobbers. And the report is that it's not loud. Okay, so not loud, whatever that means. This is, okay, that's the ground AB. It has the middle position for off, so no death cap for you. Alright, we got an off and a standby, so let's plug it in and verify the condition and prove that it's not loud. They said you have to have it at like 7 or 8 or something for it to actually be loud. Now this is a master volume model, so maybe somebody didn't realize it's a master volume, but I don't think that these guys are that much of sillies. You can tell the volumes were like cranked. And we got a loose jiggly pot there. We'll have to deal with that. Alright. Okay, there's our power. Let me come back and just take a look, see if our tubes are starting to glow. Power tubes, the ones I can see, are glowing. So yay. Give it a minute. Okay, and contact there. Now it's off of standby. I have the master volume down at 0, so I wouldn't expect it to clunk. I'm going to turn up the master here. We'll do that to, let's say, 5. And then we'll turn up the... Okay, this channel seems to have some kind of gain in it. This one, not so much. So... let's turn that to... Okay. Alright. Let's apply a little bit of signal to it and see what we get. So, guitar into normal. And... that's as loud as we go. Well, that should hurt. That's not really that loud. Okay, so that's not loud enough. I can see what they're talking about. And then let's come over here. Okay, so the vibrato slash reverb channel has a lot more volume, and that should be the reverb. Yeah, that works okay. So it's something with our inputs, maybe valve 1, valve 2, and then this is supposed to be the boost circuit that actually either makes it louder or less louder. Let's see. Okay. Tremolo low low works. I can hear it, so that's running. Okay, time to figure out why it's not that loud. Okay, so we're testing tubes. The power tubes are mismatched mongrels. I've got, I think, 2 Phillips, one really old RCA and one fairly younger RCA that says made in Germany on it. I didn't know RCA ever brought any over from Germany. So the power tubes pass, but they are kind of a mongrel set. They seem to be similar on emissions. Time to test the preamps. Okay, so we tested all the preamp tubes on our orange Devo here, and RCA 12AX7, okay, a little weaker than new, but kind of to be expected because it's not new. 12AT7, again a little weaker than new. 12AT7 Mesa Boogers, fail. 12AX7 Mesa Boogers, fail. 12AX7 Generic Electric, fail. 12AX7 Fender, which is again a Chinese tube, weak. So We could put the mongrel power tubes back in. Let's put some good preamp tubes in it and see if we do better than we did. Okay, so I've got the replacement preamp tubes in this, and I've got the master volume up, so this should be like, you know, blackface style. So it should start to hurt by the time we get it to about 3 or 4. This is a single coil guitar, so it ain't gonna be as loud, but let's see. So let's start on the normal channel. Let's go to 3. That's pretty loud. This is like the booster thing. I think it only works on the one channel. I don't even remember. But it seems to, you know, give you a little bit more of a kick on your tone. So 3's fine. And 4, we're kind of in distorty territory. So that's cool. We're good there. And then the vibrato channel, I think, has a little bit more gain yet because that's got that extra tube. So we'll try that at 2. Yep, that's loud. 4. Plenty. Let's cut that out. Let's see here. I think that actually is louder when you pull that out. I don't remember, but it's loud. That's all we really care at this point, because this was in because it wasn't loud. And the reverb works. And the tremolo low, 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 low should work here too. So we'll turn up its intensity. So yeah, I would say that this amp is working okay now. I can call the boss and see if he wants me to dig into it any deeper. But I think all I'm going to do at this point is just tighten up that one wiggly pot and call it good, because it seemed pretty obvious that we just had some bad preamp tubes in there. And again, this is a repair. These are repairs for music stores, so they are fixing these things so they can sell them. They are not trying to restore them to pristine beauty. So I apologize if y'all were looking for an Uncle Doug style restoration. Yeah, I can do those. I do those, but that is not the case in this situation. Okay, kids. So I talked to dude. We got the preamp tubes that were bummed because they were bummed. But sure enough, we got original filter caps, and this one right there is puking its guts out on the other side. Just take my word for it. I don't feel like flipping this up. And then inside the chassis of Doom, because if you say of Doom, it just sounds scarier, right? We got all of our classic white Mallory electrolytics that everybody knows are all gonna die pretty soon anyway. Haha. So yeah, there's white Mallory hell. Boom, 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 boom. And there's actually 2 of them over here. 2 of them down here. So capacitor replacement surgery. I got some on order. Let's get going. Okay, kids. Next on the bench is this PL1000 Soundtech 4-channel power amplifier. And I'm really looking forward to turning this one on, he said facetiously. Let's just turn one of these pots. See what happens, you turn them and just like these, whee, they just keep going around. These pots are all racked. I mean, this one just goes around and round and round. These pots are wiped out. There's your problem. Right out of the gate. I mean, pots don't do that. They have stops on them. Let's see if this even tries to work otherwise. Well, that's nice. We're greeted by a very rumbly fan. Channel 3 is showing maximum whateverness. I wonder if that's straight up DC voltage. I almost feel like I should plug a sacrificial speaker in there and find out, but how about we just plug a cable in and see if that's putting out full ugly DC voltage. Okay, yeah, so I just got a cable in there. Channel 3 is dumping 64 volts of DC. That's great. 64 volts of DC coming out of channel 3, so something shorted in there. Let's look at the other channels. Let's see if we got DC there. This would be probably, what, 4 probably? Let's see. Any DC there? No. Okay. Anything on 2? No. And anything on 1? And no. So no DC voltage on those. But I would say channel 3 is blown. Probably got a blown transistor set or something. Let's see if there's any AC noise on here. 2 volts AC. There's like no. Okay, this might be a rabbit hole. I don't know we're going to go down, but we can consider going down it. Well, here's some positive news, since I figure y'all might want some of that. Let's look down the hole here. On this thing, let's see if we can pull it and get it in camera. Yeah. See the pots there? You can just kind of see them cresting there. They're at least independent pots. They just screw to the front of the chassis, so they're not mounted on a PC board. That is hope, my friends. That is hope. We can order generic pots that should work. Yay. Okay, as for 3, whatever 3 is, it looks like we got a pretty modular system here. Each of these donkeys has a board. See, we've got 4, 3, so that's probably 2 and 1. So 3 is probably this one right over here, and we can probably pull that donkey off of there and see what we got. Okay, so here's where we're at. The fuse holder doesn't even belong in where the fuse holder is. This is just like stuck in there, so I don't know who's thought that was a smart idea. This is channel 3. This is an STK4048XI module. Those are available. They do exist. You can buy them. Then we have to go through, check all the resistors. This looks like it's got like liquid damage down here on this edge of the board. That's great. These transistors look rusty and crusty. So, I mean, we're going down the rabbit hole. We can get one of these modules used on eBay, because that's about the only place to get them. Or new old stock on eBay, allegedly new old stock from Ding Dong, China. And then we've got 4 driver transistors here. Plus we got to check all these resistors and these caps. This whole chunk of this board is just, something ain't right with it. So with something like this that's going to be that much of a mess, it ain't going to be free to fix that, because, you know, we have that STK module with how many pins on it? Well, a lot of pins on it. We'll just go with a lot. You know, that whole row. I think that's a lot. Here, you look. You tell me. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of soldering and a lot of work. And then we may deal with, since this board looks like it's been, I don't know, dunked in slime or something. I mean, what is all this black crap? What is this? I mean, is that conductive? Is the board itself conductive? You know, ugh. And then, and even if we get it solved, then you still got a noisy fan and you got all of this. So, can I fix this? Yes, I probably can fix this, but in the end of the day, I could probably, I saw one of these. I looked very, very quickly for one for sale on Fleabay, and somebody was asking 40 UK pounds, or for it, yeah, 40 UK pounds. So translate that into US dollars, and we're not talking a lot of money. We're talking $100. So, yeah, not exactly what I think would be a great buy because of the condition. We'd be in for the module, the driver transistors, and then we'd have to buy the 4 pots for the front. And it's just a mess. Okay, so, and just because I hate myself, this is a Yorkville Powermax 16 2150 watt stereo mixing console. Yeah, like that's a real estimate. So I was told this thing was just a Insta fuse blower, but I don't know. I turned it on and plugged it in, and that seems to be okay. So why don't I check for DC on the speaker leads? See what we got. Because at this point, from what I can tell, it's working. That might not be the case. I don't know what Buddy's doing to this down the road. You know, I don't know. So let's check. This is amp A. Let's see what we have here. Let's put Z-Meta up here. There's Z-Meta. And go to DC volts. And nada. It's good. Let's check amp B. No DC volts. Okay. Amp D. This is 4 channels, 2 mains, 2 monitors, I guess. And I don't know. I think only the top ones are powered. I don't think the bottom ones are. Or no, the monitor ones are powered too. So I don't know. We'll see what it does or doesn't do. Okay, I don't think this is even a story worth telling, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I powered this up expecting a lightning storm. I got nothing. I plugged in some speakers expecting it to not work, and it worked. So I talked to the people, and apparently, because this has line outputs here, somebody was trying to use it with powered speakers instead of the amplifier that's built into it. And when you turn it all the way up, it's sending all of that amplifier power to ground, because it doesn't just, the amplifier is built into this, it doesn't just turn off. So that's what I determine is kind of the problem. Other than that, I checked it with a speaker on all 4 channels, the 2 monitors and the 2 mains, and it worked. And I was told the XLR on channel number 9 didn't work, and it did, but the gain pot was really janky, so I cleaned it with some contact cleaner, and that seems to have made it better. We are using Max Pro brand contact cleaner and Max Pro brand electric lubricant. You can purchase all of these products through my Reverb store. It's great stuff. I think it's a better value than Deoxit. Yay. Okay, so there's my dumb spiel. But I think that this power mixer has more of a user problem than it does a technical problem. So I guess we fix the Fender and call it a win. Okay, kids, so we started at that end of the amp recapping, and then I kind of didn't have all the caps I needed, but with great swift speed, CE Distribution cometh with the remaining required capacitors, I think. So, there you go. That should be your lot. Oh, what, are the tiny ones in there? Oh yeah, the tiny ones are in there too. Okay, cool. So, you've watched me recap things, come on. Okay, so all the white Mallories in this thing are gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down the row here. Those are all replaced by new capacitors that are CE Distribution's house brand, and then there's 1 Sprague here. So all good quality stuff. Now we flip it over and do the other side. Okay, so original brown paper Mallories, 20, 20, 20, 100, 100, 500 volt, 500 volt, 500 volt, 350, 350. Let's solve it. Okay, and Viola, now they're changed. Originally we had 20, 20, 20, now we have 22, 22, 22. 500 volts originally, still 500 volts, and then these two were 100s, and the new ones are 100s, but instead of being 350 volt, they're 450 volt, but yet they're all physically smaller. They fit, and they're in. So at this point, I think we can stick this back in the chassis, stick some power tubes in it, you know, fire it up and test it. There is a reach in for the hum balance pot. You know, we'll check some voltages and stuff like that, but that's essentially what she needed. And just because the power tube set was a bunch of mongrels, we're going to put a set that matches. Okay, kids, so our chassis has been recapped, and I got 4 brand new 6L6GC power tubes. We've already done the preamp tubes that were bad. I turned them on and let them warm up. So at this time, let's make sure our volumes are down to a low level, and then we'll flip on the V plus and see if it explodes. And that would be no. It hasn't exploded, it just went click. Sometimes you get a little flash in these tubes. I mean, it's not a flash, but a little bit of a, and I've seen that in a cajillion amps, even brand new, so I'm assuming that's kind of normal. I wish I knew exactly what that was, but when you first apply the B+, sometimes that happens. Okay, so let's turn up our volume. I got our master volume up to the gills, and the amp is silent. Okay. That's probably a good thing, because if it were humming, that would suck. And let's plug into our normal channel and turn that up. Oh yeah. So that's fine. And the vibrato channel, which is usually louder. Oh, I got the tremolo low on. Let's turn that off. That seems fine. And then let's check the reverb, see if that works. Yeah, Houston, we don't got no reverb. It's very possible. The easiest way to not get the reverb to work is to plug these two things in backwards. So let's cut our volume back and see if that's what I... Good morning. Alright. Let's turn our master volume down just so it can't do that again. And let's try that again. Alright. Yep. Okay, there we go. So turn your amp off or turn your master volume around before switching those two, because when that comes off the ground it can make a icky squeal. Sorry about that, it was out of frame. That's where your reverb tank plugs in. So yeah, other than that I think we're okay. So if I go on the vibrato channel, which has the reverb, that's the one you're going to want to use anyway. That's got the louder tubes in it anyhow. That's got plenty of shimmery reverb and should have tremolo low. And let's make sure the foot switch works, just because reasons. So we have that. Yeah, no more tremolo low. Now we have tremolo low. And reverb. No reverb. Reverb. No reverb. Okay. This amp is officially repaired. Since this amp isn't anything that you haven't seen before, I'm kind of, you know, not excited about doing a demo because I don't want Universal Music to give me a copyright strike, but unlike most of the things on here, since this amp isn't, well, this amp is a little more interesting than some of the others. I don't want to say it's disinteresting because it's a Fender Twin Reverb, and those are, you know, obviously a better than typical amplifier, but it's a Fender Twin Reverb. Everybody's seen them. And the volume level on here is like non-existent. So We've got the hurt somebody level volume when it's cranked up, and we have the dead silence when it's turned down. So that's what we want. Let's do a little sound check on it and then call it a win. Okay, so it's loud now on purpose. Master volume, I just have it all the way up so it plays a little cleaner. Volume is at 3 on the vibrato channel. The reverb's like at 2 or whatever, and the EQs are somewhere around the middle maybe. Since this is a master volume module, that pulling that out actually makes it a little brighter and a little bit cleaner. You push it in, now you get a little bit more boost. So that actually kind of brings more bottom end and takes off the glisten on the high. But you can turn back the master volume, we'll say to 5. Turn the crap out of that and make it a distortion, right? That's a little too much bass in there. Let's try the bridge pickup. Okay, yeah, so this is a noisy ass single coil guitar, so it does that. But as far as getting clean sounds, we turn that up to where it goes and put this at about 2 or 3. That sounds like a twin reverb to me, man. Okay, yeah, before my ears bleed, we're going to call that good. That might have sounded like crap to the camera, but the complaint about this amp was it was not loud enough. I consider it to be adequately loud now. Thank you. Have a great day. That's Repair-A-Thon Part 2, so out of the 6 items that we saw, we have 5 of them leaving in good working order, and the 6th one is going to probably cost more to repair than is logical. There was a 7th item, but it was missing too many parts, so I can't really thoroughly evaluate that. But we'll probably have another Repair-A-Thon here shortly. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.